With the recent Xenothreat event, we had plenty of opportunity to fly the Idris ourselves and test Star Citizen from an entirely new capital ship perspective. And it taught us a lot of new and important knowledge for the future of capital ship combat in the game. In this video, I will show you a one-on-one Idris versus Idris, both of which were player controlled. So let's dive into the actual gameplay between the two Idrises here for this video, and if you are not yet subscribed to the channel but you enjoy the content, consider subscribing to stay tuned for more. Over there in the distance you can already see the other Idris that we're moving towards. It's played by Herbicida, a Twitch streamer. I'm linking him down below for you guys, because I connected with him after this fight, because it was such an epic battle for the both of us, right? We came in from the side and I opened up with the big recharge or charged up railgun shot from the Idris, the main battery size 10. And one of the first things we all noticed, I guess, is that the main damage dealer isn't actually that big gun. Although it does pack a big punch with almost 300,000 damage when it hits, but it takes so long to charge up that shot and even longer to reload the next one that the effective DPM, damage per minute, drops relatively low compared to the other guns, especially the double size 7 frontal turret, right? That is facing upwards though, mainly. Same goes for the 4 additional size 5 double turrets located around the bridge, also on the top of the ship, right? You have 2 of those similar turrets also facing downwards, but that, as you might imagine, already presents you with an important question in capital ship combat. What are you going to do? Are you gonna keep your enemy in the sweet spot where your double size 7 and the 4 topwards turrets can all fire, basically putting the highest amount of damage output into the enemy? Or are you going to do shield ping pong, switching sides, letting the enemy see your lower side for a while, meaning that you're outputting less damage to him but you're having a fully fresh shield underneath, meanwhile regenerating the top shields of your ship and reloading the guns on top as well? After watching this video, I believe we will all know the answer to this question. Furthermore, I should point out that I've talked with Herbicida here. His turrets were all fully manned by players, while at this point in time, we didn't yet know how to get rid of the gunners in the turrets. We learned that later. And my turrets, or our turrets here, were fully AI operated. However, he is a player ship, and therefore he is getting targeted by those AI gunners, and they are shooting him pretty well. And since there is no other target than his ship, my gunners are also fairly effective in that state. But are they as good as his player-controlled turrets? Probably not, especially if there's a lot of coordination going on with reloading and shield recharge and flipping over, which they on their ship are doing, and we on our ship are not doing as much. Boom! I hit him here with a big size 10 destroyer mass driver ballistic cannon. Pretty awesome, but the real Idris later will have the Hurston Dynamic Exodus laser beam, most of all, as you could see here for a second, which will have unlimited ammo being an energy-based weapon, but probably also the other one or the other disadvantage compared to the ballistic weapon. We'll see, right? It is also worth pointing out at this point that the real player-controlled Idris later will not be quite as powerful as this one here, or at least this is what we are all expecting. This is a bit of a speculation, but the one here from the Xenothreat event seemed to have been beefed up way over the actual power of the Idris to represent a bigger threat for every player here and to be something that you have to group up against. Later, the actual version will probably be somewhat weaker, especially, for example, the Galdarine repeaters that you can see all 4 of them firing here from the AI. And we have definitely found out that the Galdarine repeaters for reals do a lot less damage than those ones here on this Idris, which is also why, by the way, we try to mount them to our Corsair and to our C2s to be able to wield this much firepower on our ships. If you want to see this and also compare all the gun sizes up to size 9 from the Javelin, which we also got, then check out my last video, you'll see it, it's very interesting. But what we can see here right now is Herbicida and his boys are taking some distance. They had a bit of a bug where one of their players ran into the stairs and died somehow, so they took distance and stalled time, reviving the player, putting them back into the turret, and in the meantime both of our ships were recharging all their shields. So it wasn't really to anyone's disadvantage in this moment that we had this short break, and we kept going shortly after. But you can see here, come on man, 200 meters more, right? 10 kilometers is the range of our weapon, but again, we're in nav mode, so we couldn't fire anyways, and seeing how they're flying away with max speed, we probably would have to plan in 11 kilometers at the very least for the shot to travel there and reach the target before it dissipates. But yeah, so very interesting. We're going to keep fighting in just a moment, and I wanted to say it's awesome that we have had this encounter. I talked to him and we both agreed that none of us, we didn't care who's going to win this fight, because it was really this epic encounter and battle that we were all allowed to witness and experience that made this all worth it, right? It's so cool. But anyways, here we are back in range, dropping back into SCM speed and charging the gun. Here you can see his screen, by the way, the moment they were turning around facing me again, and I already faced him, right? Again, he is linked down, his Twitch channel below, check him out if you want, yeah, so let's keep firing at each other here. 6.4 kilometers, my shot comes out, and his fire comes right back at me, I think. Yep, there it is, right on my front, exploded. We did actually have one manned turret, and that was the size 5 torpedo launchers on the front top. And as you can see here, none of the torps actually make it over to the Idris, because it has such an incredible effective passively firing or automatically firing point defense system on all sides around the ship that it's almost impossible to connect a torpedo with it. You may have experienced that yourself if you were flying an Eclipse or a Retaliator during the event. 9 out of 10 times your torp wouldn't make it through, or even more often than that. Which also leaves open the question of effectiveness of the Polaris when it comes into the game. Will they rework torpedoes by that point? Will they make it so that the torps have higher durability, being a size 9 torpedo or something, right? I guess we're going to see all that, but right now it looks like you can almost not connect any torpedoes to it. I also have more gameplay footage recorded with the Idris where I was being hunted down as a bounty with maximum level crime stat, and they would throw everything they have at us, like literally 3 Retaliators and 3 Eclipse and everything they had, and it was impossible to kill this Idris. It just wasn't possible. You'll see this in an upcoming video if you want. I just don't want to do too much Idris stuff, but then again, I did record so much. But yeah, so you see we're still doing the firing, boom, big cannon in the face, and same goes for us too. And I am always keeping him in this sweet spot, but yeah, so does he right now. Before he was turned around and I was firing a little bit at the lower side, I think, but now we're having top side to top side again, so highest amount of firepower shooting at each other. And again, yeah, we do have AI turrets, but you see they are firing really effective. I don't think that the outcome of this battle is determined necessarily through whether or not the gunners were now pilot controlled or AI manned, because the AI is doing a pretty decent job. I feel like both players' ships have taken so much damage at the end that either one of them would be close to destruction, regardless of what the other is doing. We hit each other again with cannons. You see the big flame explosions from both shots right there, and you can also start to hear some crackling on the bridge here. Clearly, we have lost our shields and we're taking heavy hull damage at that point. The Idris isn't doing so well anymore, and yeah, you can hear it. This crackling and this sound effect is really not good. And at that very moment, my team was actually about to desert. Can you believe it? They were like, come on, we want to exit the ship. Leave us out here. We don't want to be here anymore, because they didn't have a man turret to use anyways. And they wanted to desert on me. Can you believe it? What an illoyal bunch I have as my team, man. How do I deserve this? There was no escaping for any of us. I did hit him here with the big cannon shot. I'm not sure if he did connect him with me yet. Maybe. Oh, he's charging it up right now. Ah, there it is. Boom. Yo, again, this is what we live for, these experiences here. And again, I believe he has experimented a little bit more with showing different sides of his ship, also sometimes forcing me to fire at a fully regenerated shield from a different side. Mainly, of course, we keep each other in the sweet spot, but not all the time. And I believe that did make a difference. So going forward into capital ship combat in the future, I think doing this shield ping pong will be a big part of the success. And so is the coordination with your team. When your top turrets are empty, you may as well turn around, show the lower side, and use this fully loaded turret below until you have recharged the shield on the top and reloaded all the guns, right? Why else would you keep the upper position in the firing line if the turrets aren't even operating at full capacity anymore due to being at reloading? On top of that comes the engineering gameplay of things falling out of place, getting destroyed or damaged and having to be repaired. So all these things being managed at the same time and coordinated, that I think is going to be the success of capital ships versus capital ship combat. So yeah, very interesting style of play. Another thing that became evident while testing the Idris versus ERTs versus Korea and Grimhack stations and so on was the game isn't really scaled against the strength of an Idris. You can steamroll the entire Korea station and destroy every turret and every gun and torpedo and whatever without even losing your shield, because the Idris is absolutely ridiculous as a powerhouse, right? So there has to be an increase in difficulty when this thing enters the game. And this is the moment. You see it here. We actually got destroyed. I tried not to spoil it, but the manned Idris on the other side and the way they played was successful. Here I show you the end of that battle from his perspective, where they got the kill and how they celebrated that moment, because again, this is something to memorize forever. This moment
Toma, kill.
is incredible.
Reventarla, reventarla, reventarla entera. Reventarla entera, 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 entera. Vamos, chavales, vamos. Vamos.
A job well done, my friend, well done. And he's also writing, good fight, amazing. And the only thing I could say back, which I did after respawning, was good fight indeed, friend. Now, as I pointed out, I have a lot more of this video footage right here in the style of, oops, I did it again. I took another Idris. I took like 7 of them or so during the event, and left a trail of bodies that I've never seen in the game before. I mean, just look at the ground. It's ridiculous. But yeah, if you want to see this, let me know. I could still give you all those gameplay that I recorded where they hunted me down as bounties, or where we tried to do, where we did ERTs and Vaughn missions and so on with the Idris. Let me know. For now, I'm gonna say thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one, and if you enjoyed this content, consider subscribing. Would be awesome. Manny out. Bye bye.